president's actions will reverberate here in Canada and across the world.
Canada's response to Donald Trump's tariffs.
Tonight, taking aim at America's auto industry as a trade war intensifies. Good evening. Today, Mark Carney, in his role as Prime Minister, announced Canada will match the U.S. with a 25% counter tariff on vehicles imported from the states that are not compliant with our trade agreement.
The swift response coming just a day after Donald Trump announced sweeping tariffs. And today, there was an instant toll on the markets and on the auto assembly line. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris joins us live with the latest. Siobhan.
Well, the Prime Minister called the tariffs that Canada is already facing unjustified, unwarranted, even misguided. And today we saw a next round of our pushback.
If you look at that.
While Donald Trump didn't levy new tariffs against Canada from the White House's Rose Garden, today the Prime Minister acknowledges
The global economy is fundamentally different today than it was yesterday.
Mark Carney calls the 3 different tariffs Canada is already under unjustified, now hitting back on auto tariffs that kicked in overnight.
With 25% tariffs on all vehicles imported from the United States that are not compliant with CUSMA, our North American Free Trade Agreement.
The U.S. content in CUSMA-compliant vehicles will be tariffed too, but there will be no tariffs on vehicle parts.
We take these measures reluctantly, and we take them in ways that it's intended and will cause maximum impact in the United States and minimum impact here in Canada.
The counter tariffs could generate some $8 billion, money to go back to auto workers and companies. Carney adds the government's working on a framework for automakers
to get relief from these counter tariffs as long as they maintain their production and investment in our country.
It's an approach that has the support of Ontario's Premier.
I think it's a fair response.
Even if the tariff on some Canadian-made cars is lower, Doug Ford worries about car makers packing up in Canada to appease the U.S. president.
I think the threat's very high. Even at 12.5%, these auto companies aren't making money hand over fist.
Auto tariffs already disrupting lives in a big way, with Stellantis shutting down its assembly plant in Windsor for at least 2 weeks starting Monday.
This is devastating for us.
If it was just 2 weeks, it wouldn't be that bad. But we don't know what's going to happen after the 2 weeks.
The company has also temporarily closed plants in Mexico and the United States as it assesses the impact of tariffs. In Windsor, it means uncertainty for some 6,000 workers at the assembly plant and with related parts makers.
It's not pretty. I don't think he realizes the impact he's got on even his people.
I want to retire here. If I lose this, then I've got nowhere else to go, really.
Now, we don't have any detail, but President Trump has signaled he does intend to add tariffs on pharmaceuticals, on lumber and semiconductors, so Canada may have to develop even more retaliation plans. Reporting live from Queen's Park, I'm Siobhan Morris. Michelle, back to you.
Thank you, Siobhan. The Prime Minister says the era of close economic partnerships with Washington is over. Today, CTV's Sean Leathong traveled to the border where Canadians and Americans alike are bracing for the impact.
At a landmark shared by 2 countries where looking across the river is looking into the United States, and Americans like James Reese could walk across the border into Canada, talk of tariffs comes with hope for resolution.
My personal thing is I respect, the Canadian and the American relationship, and I just hope this is just a negotiating tactic to where everyone can just get friendly again, and guys like me can come up here and get some poutine, which is what I'm about to go do right now.
Many others visiting Canada for the day chose not to talk about trade tensions. Down the road at a truck stop near the border, where a 25% tariff on vehicles shipping to the United States could hurt some drivers' employment, and opinions are clear.
Yeah, Donald Trump. He's creating strife where there never was one. You know what I mean?
The day that auto tariffs go into effect, emotions are raw.
Yeah, it sucks. It's horrible for everybody. It's just horrible. This whole thing is horrible.
Ben Downey says that he would have voted for Trump if he were American.
But then I kind of went, did you go crazy? What happened?
And he says this trade war just doesn't make sense.
At first it was about fentanyl coming over the border, and then that didn't seem to make a lot of sense, and then it became something else, and so now it's about making America great again, and I just don't know.
Frank Franz is heading to Pennsylvania, and he says this trade war is an opportunity for Canada to become more independent.
I think we're waking up to what we should be doing. What Trump is doing is bringing
jobs back. I know it's going to probably, in the short run, it's going to hurt, and it's going to hurt us.
Just how big that hurt will be is cause for great concern around here. So whether it's tension about a person's livelihood or just tension between neighbors, there is a sense that the relationship between Canada and the United States has changed. Sean Leithong, CTV News.
Also today, Mayor Olivia Chow said the city will stick with its tariff response strategy until the U.S. removes those trade barriers.
Us Torontonians and Canadians are resilient. We are always hopeful and optimistic, and we are strong and we are united. So we never give up. Until every tariff are taken off the table, we'll continue to defend ourselves. And we'll take a Team Canada approach.
The city's tariff response includes a shift to favor Canadian suppliers for certain contracts and to promote trade ties with non-American partners. It also pledges tax relief for industrial properties and encourages residents to support local businesses.
Meantime, there were major losses in the markets today. The TSX shedding about 4% of its value, as did the Dow Jones Industrial Index. It was even worse for the NASDAQ and other measures, with analysts comparing the impact to the level of shock seen after the start of COVID. And tariffs were all the talk on the campaign trail as the leaders touted their plans to support Canadians during this time. Just ahead, incentives to buy Canadian and measures like victory bonds, their promises to voters.
What a difference a day can make. At this time last night, we were being pounded by ice pellets and snow.
It is a completely different story. Tonight, the snow suits have been shedded and the shorts are out. What can you say? The wild weather swing, just a part of spring here in Toronto. Our John Musselman is live tonight at Woodbine Beach with the story. Is it beach weather?
Well, it's pretty close, Michelle. We're just looking over. We're seeing people playing beach volleyball. People are jogging, cycling, and walking. What a change from last night at around this time.
It was a wet start to the day. Motorists forced to navigate ponding on area roadways like here on Victoria Park near Steeles. There's also extensive flooding on the northbound 427 ramp at Rexdale Boulevard. Over on Bayview Avenue, the flooding was bad enough to close all southbound lanes between Pottery Road and Rosedale Valley Road.
The water is literally getting higher.
And this underground garage near Bathurst and Shepherd became a huge headache for tenants worried about their vehicles.
We're going to have to scoop out water for sure. There's going to be damage mechanically. This morning, it was about 7:30. I noticed the lights. I was down there, and I noticed the lights were flashing on and off.
It has been a wacky 24 hours of weather, from cold wind, freezing rain, and blowing snow yesterday.
I hate this. Hot, cold, warm. You don't even know what jacket to put on.
To glorious sunshine and temperatures back in the high teens this afternoon. It had people dancing with joy.
Just the vibe, enjoy it, appreciate it, be thankful. That's it.
I mean, I'm just enjoying the beautiful sun that we have today because Canada is crazy. Canada's weather is crazy.
Thank God we had today off and not yesterday.
Along Queen Street East, people were wearing T-shirts and shorts. The boardwalk was also a popular spot as people rebounded from yesterday's nasty weather.
Yesterday, it's okay, it's beautiful, but it's more better to stay home, like to stay inside. But today, I want to feel it, I want to go out in the street, everywhere.
April can be a cruel month. As warm as it got today, colder temperatures return early next week with a chance of snow on Tuesday.
But in the meantime, the wind has picked up a little bit here, but it is still quite mild, and a lot of people are out here enjoying the boardwalk. Reporting live, I'm John Musselman. I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, John. The cleanup continues in communities hit hard by the ice storm over the weekend. Ontario Premier Doug Ford says he plans to visit Orillia, one of the areas affected by prolonged power outages. Today, Ford called the situation heartbreaking. He says he plans to meet with residents impacted and thank frontline workers and volunteers working to clear debris and get things back to normal. He'll also visit the Storm Command Center, which is also in Orillia.
Yes, it has been a wild start to spring. We had the snow yesterday, the warm, sunny weather today. Hopefully this weather whiplash is in the rear view. Looking pretty nice there down at Nathan Phillips Square. Lindsay Morrison is here with a look at the current conditions and quite a bit calmer, although the wind a factor today.
The wind a big factor today, Michelle. It's part of the reason why our temperature got so warm this afternoon. Look at that. We're at 15 degrees right now. We just cooled down by 2 degrees at this hour. But look at that. Earlier this afternoon, downtown Toronto, 21 degrees. Pearson Airport, 20. Not bad for this point in the month of April, well above average. We've got winds now coming out of the west as opposed to the south and still gusting close to about 60 kilometers per hour. We've also seen a bit of an increase in cloud cover after enjoying that beautiful sunshine earlier on. Tonight, we're going to drop to a low of 1 degree. That's a big change from earlier today, but it's also normal for this time of year. Coming up, we'll talk about a fantastic Friday and a return to some wet weather for the weekend. For now, though, Nathan, back to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Closing submissions wrapped up today in the trial of one of the teenage girls accused of killing a homeless Toronto man during a group attack 2 years ago. In total, 8 teens between the ages of 13 and 16 at the time were charged with second-degree murder in the death of Kenneth Lee back in December of 2022. When she was arrested, today's accused was found with 2 small pairs of round-ended scissors and a pair of tweezers. Her lawyer arguing that it indicates the intention may not have been to harm, or may have been to harm, but not kill. He added that as she held on to both, it indicates she was not the murderer. The accused sentencing will take place May 30th.
Crews battled a house fire this morning in Brampton. It broke out on Calstock Place near Queen Street and Mississauga Road around 8:30 a.m. The home was significantly damaged, but no injuries have been reported, and the cause of the fire is now under investigation.
Tariff talk once again dominated the campaign trail today as party leaders outlined their visions to push back against Donald Trump.
CTV's Jeremy Charon has the details.
On Parliament Hill, away from the campaign trail today, Prime Minister Mark Carney unveiled Canada's retaliation plan to Donald Trump's latest attack on Canada.
We'll be responding by matching the U.S. approach, with 25% tariffs on all vehicles imported from the United States that are not compliant with CUSMA.
Canada is retaliating not against reciprocal tariffs announced yesterday, which we avoided, but to auto sector tariffs that came into effect at midnight.
Every single dollar raised from those counter tariffs, which could reach around $8 billion before remission, will go directly to our auto workers and the companies affected by those tariffs.
While on the campaign trail today, it was all tariff talk. In Kingston, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre pitched a measure to incentivize the purchase of Canadian cars.
A new Conservative government will eliminate the federal sales tax on Canadian-made automobiles.
Poilievre says the move could save Canadians around $2,500 on an average car purchase, and he's pushing provinces to eliminate their sales tax too.
Everyone who's looking to buy Canadian, to support Canadian workers, will be able to save money as a result of this announcement.
While NDP leader Jagmeet Singh promised to bring back measures used in both world wars in Ottawa today, pledging to launch Canada Victory Bonds.
This is an opportunity for Canadians to invest in our country. In fact, during the World War, Victory Bonds raised more revenue than taxes because Canadians were so committed to doing their part.
Singh also promised an infrastructure and procurement plan that would prioritize Canadian products and promised to expand employment insurance.
We need to have an EI that covers more of workers' salaries so they can actually pay their bills, pay their mortgage, keep food on the table. And that's got to be job number 1 today.
And Bloc Québécois leader Yves-François Blanchet said today Quebec needs to have a voice at the table when it comes to tariff negotiations. While Green Party co-leader Jonathan Pedneau said today, now is the time for Canada to diversify and step up on manufacturing. Jeremy Charon, CTV News, Ottawa.
China says it won't let the new wave of tariffs from the U.S. go unanswered. The Foreign Ministry spokesperson in Beijing accused the U.S. of bullying and said China would safeguard its interests. Goods from that country now face a total U.S. tariff of 54%. India is facing 27% tariffs, but struck a more conciliatory tone, saying it is hoping to reach a trade deal with Washington soon. And there was similar calm out of Mexico today.
Given the respectful relation we have established with the U.S., we are very happy with the outcome.
Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum celebrated the fact her country avoided reciprocal tariffs. She also said efforts would continue to improve conditions in the sectors that do face tariffs, steel and aluminum and the auto sector. European leaders say Trump's tariffs are a major blow to the world economy.
The costs of doing business with the United States will drastically increase. And what is more, there seems to be no order in the disorder, no clear path through the complexity and chaos that is being created as all U.S. trading partners are hit.
European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said more countermeasures against the U.S. are being prepared, but she said it was never too late for the U.S. and EU to make a deal to address their trade concerns.
Also in Europe, NATO foreign ministers gathered in Brussels amid a U.S. push to get members of the military alliance to spend more on defense.
We know that the United States is a staunch ally in NATO. I had a very good meeting with the President, Vice President Trump, but that commitment comes with an expectation.
Secretary General Mark Rutte said pressure from the U.S. president prompted a surge in defense spending across Canada and Europe that hadn't been seen in decades. Trump has criticized Canada and other NATO allies that have yet to reach defense spending levels of 2% of GDP. But U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio repeated a call for a much bigger buy-in.
We do want to leave here with an understanding that we are on a pathway, a realistic pathway, to every single one of the members committing and fulfilling a promise to reach up to 5% of spending. That includes the United States will have to increase its percentage. Because if the threats truly are as dire as I believe they are, and the members of this alliance believe they are, then that threat has to be confronted by a full and real commitment to have the capability to confront these things.
Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly is also in attendance. She wrote on social media, Canada remains a steadfast ally in NATO, committed to collective security and defending democracy.
Back to the federal campaign trail, the Conservative Party has now parted ways with 4 candidates over the span of 2 days.
CTV's Abigail Beeman has a closer look at what happened and the questions the party is facing as it looks to form government.
The Conservative leader shakes hands with workers in Kingston, Ontario, as the party shakes candidates across the country. In 2 days, Conservatives fired 4 candidates over various allegations, mainly past comments the party deemed unacceptable. The latest was Don Patel in a Toronto riding. The party forwarded a social media post saying Patel supported this comment about deporting nonsense people to India for Prime Minister Modi to take care of. Patel did not respond to a CTV News request for comment.
Our vetting process is stronger than all the other parties. That's why we have a zero tolerance for anyone who acts unacceptably.
Poilievre instead pointed fingers at the Liberals and how much longer it took in comparison for their former candidate, Paul Chang, to resign after comments about handing over an opponent to the Chinese government to collect a bounty.
The vetting that is being done is being done very last minute. Normally, you try to screen candidates in advance of allowing them to run, and you weed these folks out before they even really get involved in the nomination race. So when you're dealing with an early election, you see more of this, and I think you're going to see it in all the parties.
Hi, Mr. Patterson. Conservative campaign staffers tried to stop CTV News from speaking to Kingston candidate Brian Patterson, who has faced criticism about his past involvement with a church that performed conversion therapy.
Are you still a member of the church today?
No, I was very clear when this happened a number of years ago that I do not support conversion therapy. I actually seconded a city council motion supporting the ban on conversion therapy.
When asked by CTV News about Patterson, Poilievre pointed to his past renouncement of conversion therapy. The campaign is now in Oshawa, set to hold a rally tonight. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Oshawa.
Meanwhile, the latest Nanos poll for CTV News and the Globe and Mail shows the Liberals climbing to 45.8% support and the Tories down to 36.7%. The NDP also slid a bit to 8.8%. It's worth noting those are the percentages among decided voters only out of more than 1,200 Canadians polled. As for who Canadians would like to see in the Prime Minister's office, Liberal leader Mark Carney climbed 1.4% in the latest Nanos polling, putting him at 50%. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre's at 32.8%, and NDP leader Jagmeet Singh is at 4.7%. The figures in these Nanos polls are considered accurate between 2.8 percentage points, 19 times out of 20.
Two organizers of the so-called Freedom Convoy were found guilty of mischief today. Chris Barber was greeted by supporters as he made his way into court this morning. He and Tamara Leach were both found guilty for their roles in the 2022 mass protest that occupied downtown Ottawa over COVID health mandates. The judge said the evidence showed they encouraged people to remain and join the protest despite knowing the problems it was creating in the city. Fellow Convoy organizer Pat King was found guilty of mischief and disobeying a, quote, court order late last year.
Coming up, a big milestone for Sick Kids Hospital, celebrating 150 years of world-leading care. We stop by the birthday bash. That's still ahead.
And I'm Pat Foran. Coming up on Consumer Alert, most of us pay our bills online, and if you do, you have to be careful you don't make a mistake. One woman meant to pay an $84 bill and accidentally paid more than $8,000, and she's having trouble getting a refund. That story is just ahead.
A plethora of precipitation types yesterday and this morning. And when you see the numbers, it's no surprise there was some flooding. 86 millimeters of rain in Burford, 77 in Guelph, and Orillia, one of the areas hit by that ice storm. 60 millimeters of rain yesterday and this morning. We've got another round of rain on the way. It's not going to be a whole lot, but it could impact your weekend. We're going to take you through the timing of it after the break, and stay with us. We've got another full night of great shows for you right here on CTV.
Many of us pay our utility bills online, which is easy and convenient, and most of the time is done without any issues.
But if you do make a mistake while paying a bill, getting that money back isn't as easy as a simple click. It can take weeks or even months. Here's Pat Foran and a Consumer Alert. Pat.
That's right, Michelle and Nathan. A Toronto woman says she usually pays her bills online and doesn't have any problems. But when she went to pay her electric bill, she forgot to include the decimal point and overpaid by more than $8,000.
When that happened, it was kind of like a very hard blow, a slap in the face. I was like, I can't believe I did this.
Naomi Kahn of Toronto usually pays her bills on her computer, but in February, she paid her electricity bill using her phone. She owed Metergy Solutions $84.72, but she accidentally left out the decimal point and paid $8,472. She only noticed the mistake days later when she needed to pay other bills and her rent. She thought it could be corrected right away.
I'm hoping that they will respond immediately and refund my money immediately.
But Khan says her hopes were dashed when she had difficulty trying to find out how her funds could be returned. She grew frustrated trying to get answers and says no one could tell her when the payment would be reversed.
This is a song and dance for the entire 2 weeks. And up till now, no one has reached out to me to say anything.
Mistakes paying bills do happen. We did a story not long ago with a senior paying a Visa bill online of $131. She accidentally paid more than $13,000. It took more than 3 months to get her money back.
The money is just gone. It's in the netherworld, right?
Khan was paying her electric bill to Metergy Solutions. The company told CTV News it was aware of the mistake and was working as quickly as possible to return the funds. A spokesperson said Metergy is committed to customer care and ensuring urgent requests are addressed promptly. While Ms. Khan's request was already in process, we took additional steps to accelerate it. Almost 1 month after making the mistake, Khan received a full refund minus her payment, which was great news for her.
Thankful for CTV that you guys are an amazing voice for those who have no voice. So I really thank God for you and what you guys are doing.
And if you overpay a credit card or utility bill, you'll usually have your money returned, but it can take weeks or months to get it. So when you're paying bills, take your time and triple check before hitting pay so you don't make a mistake. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
If you have a consumer story idea, email us at alert@ctv.ca.
You know, I'm thinking of John Musselman at the beach today doing his story, and I never really thought it really was beach weather today. It was like summer.
People are just loving this. I mean, this is what we've been waiting for, the sunshine along with the mild temperatures. Yes, there's some wind today, but I think what we're getting on Friday is just perfect for everybody's plans.
Not too hot, not too cold, just right. Goldilocks weather for tomorrow. And yes, anybody who was upset yesterday about the snow and the ice pellets, likely a little bit happier today. It was very mild. We had plenty of sunshine. Yes, it was windy, but that's okay. It was a very dynamic storm that we had yesterday and this morning with the thunderstorms. I want to show you, though, what's been happening stateside because it's been pretty destructive, all courtesy of the same system and series of systems. Tornadoes touching down in states like Arkansas and Missouri, and they have been destructive to property. Here's a look at what's happening currently on the satellite and radar imagery. Thunderstorm activity once again severe in nature, the risk of tornadoes again tonight and also tomorrow. So we're going to keep an eye on this situation. The leading edge of that particular system now bringing some shower activity to Windsor, Ontario, but elsewhere we are expecting to stay dry tonight here in southern Ontario. There's been a bit of an increase in cloud cover, but that's going to clear into tomorrow morning. Here's the forecast radar. We'll pause that there around 7 a.m. just to show you that, yeah, a mix of sun and cloud expected. Then as the day goes on, further clearing. Into the evening, we're going to see some cloud return just to kick off the weekend. And then overnight, we get into a few showers, waking up Saturday morning, some rain. Pretty widespread. It's not going to last all day. In fact, this should move out as we make our way into Saturday afternoon. Still remaining quite cloudy. And then the Niagara area and communities along the north shore of Lake Erie still likely to get some wet weather, but then drier certainly into the day on Sunday. Not a whole lot of rain, certainly not compared to the last couple of days here. Anywhere from 5 to 10 millimeters is what we're calling for at this point. And while we're now just starting to tap into a northwest wind, you can expect the winds to ease as we make our way into the day tomorrow. So we've cooled ever so slightly, but we're still in the teens at this hour. 15 degrees locally in Toronto. As mentioned, we made it to a high today of 21 degrees downtown, 20 at Pearson Airport. Back to reality tonight, +1 for the low. And then here's tomorrow, that Goldilocks forecast we were talking about. 13 degrees, which is still warmer than normal. Average daytime high this time of year is 9, but it's not exceedingly warmer than normal. And yes, we will enjoy mostly sunny skies. Here is your 7-day forecast. So there's the wet weather for Saturday, still mild at 16, closer to 8 degrees for Sunday, hopefully with a little bit of sun. Look at next week, though. Chance of flurries and daytime highs struggling to climb at times above freezing. That's your look at the weather for now. Michelle, I'll send things over to you.
Thanks, Lindsay. Also tonight, small changes that can make a big difference. A new exhibit celebrates Earth Month, highlighting simple steps we can all take to protect the planet and be part of a greener future.
It's a milestone worthy of a major celebration.
Toronto's Hospital for Sick Children marked its 150th birthday today, and as CTV's health reporter Pauline Chan reports, some descendants of its founder came to pay tribute to the world-renowned hospital.
Current and former patients, family, and staff all marched in to celebrate the milestone birthday at the Hospital for Sick Children. Speaker after speaker spoke of the many ways the hospital, founded in 1875, brought healing to their lives.
When I was a baby, I was very sick, so I got a new liver, and sickness took good care of me.
I am 16 years old and I'm cancer-free.
Natalie Wilson spoke of being diagnosed with leukemia at age 11, just as her mother was fighting breast cancer.
They really rallied around my family to support however they could. We had joint radiation appointment treatments.
And she tries to bring the same sensitivity to her work now as a child life specialist at Sick Kids.
The very first patient was a 3-year-old named Maggie who came in with scalding injuries. Today, the hospital treats 130,000 children every year.
Like Sophia Popa, who came in 2 years ago with the same kind of burns.
I'm really grateful to everybody at Sick Kids because I healed so fast and I was okay.
17-year-old Elizabeth Leonard was proud to help honor the hospital her great-great-great-grandmother, Elizabeth McMaster, founded.
I'm really impressed by the fact that it's free. I'm from America, so you know healthcare there is very expensive, and it's so wonderful that all of the children have equal access to come here and get the treatment that they need.
As for the next 150 years?
What we really want to try to do is move towards a truly individualized approach of each child in a holistic way.
And the celebrations continue with an outdoor party planned for June at Nathan Phillips Square. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
April is Earth Month, and there's a new exhibit that just opened in Toronto.
It's all about highlighting the small changes we can make that can have a big impact on our planet. CTV's Jessica Smith has more on the Earth Room.
Small actions can make a big change when it comes to protecting the planet. That's the theme for a new exhibit at Arcadia Earth designed by Canadian digital artists.
We really wanted a Canadian content in this room more than ever before, and we're super excited. And of the 22 submissions, this one really took the cake.
Arcadia Earth is an educational exhibit at the Well up front in Spadina. The new Earth Room, a space dedicated to learning about our environment, takes a deep dive into how we can all make small changes to create a more sustainable future with something as simple as how we shop.
Instead of searching, as an example, trendy spring jackets I should buy, they could search for vintage shops where I can maybe find something that is gently used, save a little bit of money, and certainly help save the planet.
The new room lets people learn, explore, and ask questions.
So this has 4 or 5 different chapters, and it sets the mood at the beginning about small changes, big impact.
Letting you move through the entire space at your own pace, landing in the Earth Room to figure out your own way to recognize with subsidized options for schools to help the next generation have access to lean into learning in an interactive way. Everyone who comes through the exhibit is invited to make their own pledge on the steps they're going to take to help make the Earth a better place that will become a part of a collaborative art piece. The exhibit will be here at Arcadia Earth until April 30th. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
After the break, beleaguered Bay Days. With liquidation in full swing, we check in with shoppers and an industry expert on what the future could hold for HBC.
We must respond with both purpose and force.
Updating our top stories, the Prime Minister outlined Ottawa's response to U.S. auto tariffs that took effect overnight. Mark Carney said Canada will impose its own 25% tariff on vehicles imported from the U.S. that aren't compliant with the free trade deal. Premier Doug Ford called the approach fair. Stellantis plans to shut down its assembly plant in Windsor starting Monday.
This is an opportunity for Canadians to invest in our country.
Eliminate the federal sales tax on Canadian-made automobiles.
Tariff talk also dominated the federal campaign trail today, with leaders outlining their ideas for how Canada should push back against U.S. trade measures. Parties are looking to shore up support as Canadians prepare to head to the polls April 28.
I'm just enjoying the beautiful sun that we have today because Canada is crazy. Canada's weather is crazy.
And it's been a wild 24 hours when it comes to the weather, with temperatures soaring into the high teens today and the sun coming out this afternoon. And that was a big change from conditions overnight into the morning, with snow and freezing rain complicating commutes and causing flooding in several areas.
Remember to keep up to date day and night at ctvnewstoronto.ca and by downloading the CTV News app. And if you have a news tip, photos or video of breaking news, let us know.
BNN Bloomberg's Marla Fernandez has more on the tariff impact in tonight's business report.
The market tremor that began when Donald Trump announced reciprocal tariffs yesterday only intensified today, sending stocks crashing down. The TSX plunged 971 points today, losing almost 4% by end of trading day. The Dow sank more than 1,600 points, also shedding about 4% of its value. The Nasdaq lost almost 6% after diving over 1,000 points. West Texas Intermediate is also down today by almost $5, ending the day at $66.95. Our fix on Western Canadian Select has it up to $61.62. And the Canadian dollar moved higher to 71 cents American. The first layoff news today came from Stellantis. It is pausing production at its Windsor, Ontario plant for 2 weeks, temporarily laying off thousands of workers. Workers in Mexico and the U.S. are also affected. The company says a final decision on this was made right after the tariff announcement by Trump. Rising from the ashes today, Dollarama, the Canadian discount retailer, beat expectations in its fourth quarter, with profits jumping more than 20%. It raised its dividend as a result. Dollarama is expanding with plans to open another 70 to 80 stores by early 2026. It already has more than 1,600 locations in Canada. Those are your business headlines from the BNN Bloomberg Newsroom. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
The Business Report is brought to you by Canadian Western Bank, the bank built for business.
There are changes in the air at Pearson Airport.
Virgin Atlantic is set to take flight from Toronto once again. CTV's Beth McDonnell checked in with its founder, Sir Richard Branson.
It's been 10 years since Virgin Atlantic planes from London touched down at Pearson Airport. On board one of the first flights, Virgin Group founder Sir Richard Branson, who exited the aircraft with much fanfare, flanked by his team and Canadian and British flags.
We're just so pleased to be back here again.
Starting this past Sunday and through the summer, the airline has daily flights between Toronto and London.
For some reason or other, it seems that a lot of Canadians want to go that direction rather than another direction at the moment. So we're happy to oblige.
It's been a decade since Virgin Airlines abandoned its London-Toronto route, and some analysts believe now is a good time to bring it back.
It's summer, so it's a lot of Canadians are traveling, and fewer Canadians are traveling to the U.S. because of the relationships between the two countries.
This management professor says the timing makes sense with demand for flights to the U.S. down, while London is a key connector for many other world cities. With the tariff situation, more Canadians, he says, may choose Europe for a vacation, with Virgin Atlantic offering another option.
More competition means prices go down in theory and in practice as well. But demand is up in the summer. Demand is up because of the economy, what's happening with our friends to the south. So that when demand goes up, so do prices because there's more people want to be on the plane.
Branson didn't want to comment directly on the U.S. tariffs and focused instead on the relationship between the U.K. and Canada.
Between Canada and Britain, there are, I don't think, any tariffs. I can never see any tariffs existing between our two countries, and hopefully the two countries can become even closer.
This time, the company has expanded its partnership with WestJet. It says it's learned a lot after having to withdraw from the Canadian market, and this time, it's here to stay. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
March was another month of lower sales and growing supply on the GTA housing market. The Toronto Regional Real Estate Board says just over 5,000 properties exchanged hands. That marked a more than 23% drop from March of last year. An additional 17,000 real estate listings went online for a nearly 29% surge. Market experts say prospective home buyers are in no rush to commit with the political and economic situation so uncertain right now.
Now people are concerned about, what's my employment picture going to look like as we move forward? What's my income picture going to look like as we move forward? And, as we saw yesterday, there's still a lot of uncertainty in terms of, trade disputes, tariffs, and how that's going to look, both south of the border and north of the border as we consider action on our front. And I think people need more certainty before they're prepared to pull the trigger.
The average selling price of a home last month was $1,093,000, a 2.5% drop from a year before.
Liquidation sales continue at Hudson's Bay as the iconic retailer prepares to shutter most of its stores across the country. CTV's Scott Lightfoot has the latest on the process and shoppers hoping to cash in on some deals.
At Fairview Mall, the Hudson's Bay liquidation sale continues.
It was a little depressing, to be honest with you. It's sad to see an icon go down the drain that way.
This is one of 80 Bay stores that will close by the end of June. Today, shoppers were picking over goods which have been marked down by 20 to 40%. Some areas had already been cleaned out of merchandise. Kathleen McDonald came to spend some gift cards which were not working, despite the company saying they would be honored until April 6th.
My gift cards were apparently all dead, which I don't believe to be correct. They were still in the gift card envelope, so I'm on the phone, I'm on hold, and I'm going to get some answers.
The beleaguered company is facing many questions as it tackles a billion-dollar debt and tries to keep 6 retail locations and its online operation running.
It's a bit like a garage sale. They've got their trademarks up for sale. They've got the 6 stores up for sale. They've got the online business up for sale. They've got their joint venture with RioCan up for sale. They've got their warehouses up for sale.
Value may also be found in the leases held by the company. The company is in the process of looking for potential buyers for its massive retail footprint.
You know, the leases have value, especially the long-term leases that were written at very low market rates. Some of the leases have value based on today's higher market rates. Having said that, I don't know of anyone who would really want, you know, a 3 or 4 floor lease in a mall.
The company has set an April 30th deadline for bidders to submit final proposals as the liquidation process continues at stores across the country. Scott Lightfoot, CTV News.
In sports, the Toronto Maple Leafs are now officially in the playoffs. The team was looking for a 3rd straight win when they took on the Florida Panthers last night. They took a 2-goal lead in the 3rd period and were able to hold off a late rally by the Panthers, resulting in that 3-2 win. The victory securing the team a spot in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Leafs are back on the ice Saturday to play the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Great pass by Battle, and Mobo goes strong to the iron.
The Raptors are back in action tonight at home against the Trailblazers. They're coming off a blowout loss to the Bulls on Tuesday that eliminated the team from playoff contention. Portland is 3 games back of the final play-in spot in the West. Tip-off tonight is just after 7:30.
Just ahead, 40,000 wishes granted. Make-A-Wish Canada marks a big milestone, making kids' dreams come true. Recipients like Lily, who you'll get to meet in just a few moments.
Tonight, the global market free fall from tariff shell shock.
It's not a full-blown panic right now. It's just really, really heightened uncertainty.
Plus, idle plants and job losses, how the auto sector is proceeding with caution. Later on CTV National News.
Make-A-Wish Canada is marking a major milestone. 40,000 wishes granted to critically ill children since the early 80s.
And with April being World Wish Month, the charitable organization is sharing the story of someone whose wish recently came true. CTV's Andrea Case has the story.
Visiting CTV News Toronto, Lily Farrell is getting ready for her close-up with some help from makeup artist Renee. The 13-year-old looks the picture of good health, but her mom, Kristen Farrell, admits it wasn't always the case.
No one thinks of that when you have a baby, that to think about life expectancy, you just think of life. And so this was a different experience for us.
Lily's parents were both born with the cystic fibrosis gene. As a baby, she tested positive for the disease, which affects the lungs, digestive tract, and other organs. After years of illness, a breakthrough for a disease for which there is no known cure.
Pretty good. Trikafta has made it like a lot better. So Trikafta is the medicine that scientists came up with to it doesn't cure CF, but it also doesn't not cure it. It's a miracle.
Last year, Lily qualified to be a recipient of Make-A-Wish Canada, an organization which creates life-changing wishes for children with critical illnesses.
I've always been obsessed with trains since I was a little kid.
Parents are not involved in the child's wish-making decision.
I'm not going to lie, I was completely surprised. I did not know what she was going to wish. I did not know what she was thinking, but she'd seen a YouTube video about the Canadian and the trip across Canada on Via.
The trip, her choice, traveling 4,411 kilometers by train from Toronto to Vancouver.
Every little hill that we passed on the way to BC in Alberta, I was just like, is that a mountain? And Mom was like, no, you'll know a mountain when you see it. And I definitely indeed knew a mountain.
It took 97 hours or 4 days and gave Lily, her mother, and grandparents the trip of a lifetime.
I thought it was great before, but now I'm just like, it's confirmed. Canada's awesome.
Something Kristen never knew she needed.
I order all her medications, I keep track of all of her appointments. There's a lot of effort that goes in that you don't really see when you have a chronic illness and you're managing a chronic illness. So to have a trip that really, I didn't have to do anything. I just got to show up and enjoy and just be a family. And that was really, really special part. So we're so grateful to Make-A-Wish.
And a lesson no child should ever have to learn.
I didn't know it was really hard for them. because they thought I was going to die, right? But I didn't.
The median age for someone diagnosed with CF is 54 years. Now the Farrell family is looking beyond that.
We went from having 1 to 2 hospitalizations a year to now being 3 years with nothing, which is incredible. Like, you know, even, you know, I used to hold back vacation days because I wasn't sure if she'd be in the hospital. And of course I work, so I'd have to hold those back. And this last summer was the first summer I've used all my vacation. Make-A-Wish Canada is celebrating 40,000 wishes granted since 1983. They want to do so much more because there's 3,700 people waiting for their wish to be granted. It's looking for donations, volunteers, and fundraising. Andrea Case, CTV News.
Great story, and it was great having Lily in here for a visit with her mom.
We loved having Lily as a visitor and her family. It was so wonderful. Congrats to Make-A-Wish on that milestone.
Yes.
And I don't know, are we in a milestone weather-wise because it was so warm today?
We were very close. It's funny you asked. So we ended up making it to a high of about 20 degrees at Pearson Airport. The record to beat today was 22 degrees. So close, but not quite. And that record was set back in the year 1981. Downtown Toronto, also the provincial and at one point Canadian hotspot. Now tomorrow, it's still going to be quite nice. 13 for the high, mainly sunny skies. Here is your 7-day forecast as we head into the weekend. Bit of a change once again. We're returning to some wet weather, really just for half the day on Saturday. Then we're going to dry out. I just want to bring your attention to next month. Look at those highs and look at those lows. It's going to be feeling a little more like winter again. Michelle and Nathan.
Okay, thank you, Lindsay. That's it for us, but you can join Omar Sachedina tonight at 11 for CTV National News, followed by Zoraida Allman with your next local newscast at 11:30.
In the meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and online at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and the whole team here at CTV News, thanks for watching and have a great night.